Hi guys, it's album review time. We've got Temple Balls and Avalanche. This is coming out on November the 10th, this Friday on Frontiers. 39 minutes and 48 seconds long, probably the perfect album length. This is a brilliant melodic hard rock band from Finland. Stadium rock, I would say. This is massive sounding songs. This is the band's fourth album. Last album was Pyramid, which was the first for Frontiers, I believe. So this was produced by Jonah T of Heat. And man, what a huge sounding album this is. When Jonah T ever puts his hand, twiddles the knobs when it comes to producing, it's just a fantastic sounding album, and this is no exception. It sounds huge. The guitars are quite heavy on this album. I can remember Pyramid, it's a great album, but I think the guitars are ramped up a little bit. The main thing that's ramped up on this is the songwriting. And I've mentioned in a few songs that have already come off this album, this seems like a big step towards being in the big time for this band, competing with the likes of, Eclipse and Heat and Crash Diet and all those bands. So for fans of Eclipse, Heat, Crazy Licks, Crash Diet, Europe maybe, and like I said, it's a big step up. Almost, I've already mentioned Crash Diet a couple of times, and they had a massive step up with Automaton last year, in my opinion. It's just a huge step for the band, and it sounded like they really come into their own, and this is the same for this. And I was so happy when I heard the first few songs from Temple Balls, which I'm going to get onto in a minute, but the rest of the album, man, does not disappoint. I was thinking, I hope it's not like 4 or 5 great songs and then we get some fillers. No way, man. The band sound amazing. They're on top form. They sound energetic. They sound hungry. Like I said, the songwriting is just top notch. So in this band is Ard Terranen. I hope I'm pronouncing these names correctly, but he's on vocals. Just a great vocal. He really sounds powerful here. Hitting some great soaring moments. Just great tone to his voice. Just so much melody. A brilliant vocalist. You got Jiri Parvanaho on the guitar and Nico Verola on the guitar. Man, these names. Anyway, great guitarist. Swap about just brilliantly. So much melody, so much intricacy. Great guitarist, and this is really quite heavy, some of this stuff. So the guitars are really up front, and thanks to Jonah T's production as well, the guitars are really cutting through nicely. And just the guitars that cut through on this album though, the bass and the drums sound huge. Jimmy Valakangas and Antti Hissa on the bass and the drums respectively. Just amazing rhythm section. They do sound really tight, this band. Like I said, it's all about the songs and the rhythm. There's some real stomping on this album. I'm going to get through the songs, but man, you guys who love that sort of European melodic hard rock, this is going to be right up your alley. So the band kicked the album off with All Night Long. It's not a Rainbow cover, but it's fucking great. A thunderous sort of bluesy heavy start to the album, straight up the energy. And sometimes bluesy sort of music can not have as much energy as other melodic hard rock, but man, it does. The energy is just to the max. It's almost like the band's life depend on it. When you just feel the songwriting just go that extra level. The vocalist is on just top form. He hits those heights with aggression as well. When he goes for those heights, there's no power loss whatsoever. It's like not a falsetto, it's like full voice. Brilliant stuff. Love the solo, and there's so many great ones on here, man. There's the 2 guitarists hit a cool sort of twin lead section at the end of it. What a great start to the album. Then Trap is the next song. Sort of medium to fast paced song. A classic metal riff gets this song off to a banging start. It's actually a single, this was. The band sound huge here as they compete, like I said, with the best in this great heavy track. The song just rips it up with such an energetic vibe to it. It's brilliant. The solo is excellent again, and that tremolo arm part. There's some great trickery with the guitar on this, playing the tremolo arm, and oh man, it sounds brilliant. Excellent stuff. Lonely Stranger is the next one. This is a great stomping track as the bass line sort of almost leads this song. The quality continues as the band just give off a sort of horror vibe in this. It's brilliant. I can't really explain it. The song just it'd be perfect like in an 80s slasher movie as well. And I think we talk about great soundtracks. I do it quite a bit, and bands that put this in a soundtrack, this is definitely one of those songs. A brilliant song, an absolutely excellent start to the album. Stand Up and Fight is the next song, a proper heavy metal track, this one. Almost a sort of slight power metal vibe, but the guitars are nice and up front. Sometimes in proper power metal, the guitars sort of run alongside keys sometimes. Not the case here, the guitars are right up front in the mix. It's another stomping track as the rhythm section sounds absolutely huge here. I love the guitar melody that leads to the solo as well, again sounding very traditional metal. Prisoner in Time is the next track. I've already mentioned the stomp this band can have. No exception here. This is another perfect example of that. The rhythm section just hits so hard while those guitars and vocals just work their way and the melodies into your head. A huge song that is sort of pushed to the limits of energy again. Strike Like a Cobra. This was the first song I think we heard from this album quite a while ago now. It seems like a lifetime ago this great single was released. Again, the band hit their stride and a perfect soundtrack song. Some Netflix series I think this should be on. I really do. That 80s sort of series that Netflix sometimes give off. A perfect melodic heavy track. It chugs its way to your brain, but it's not just a chug fest. It's so much more than that. Brilliant gang vocals back up, an amazing chorus. This one's called No Reason. I actually missed this, I think. Got no reason to lie. This was a single that I missed. Has a heavy sort of classic Def Leppard feel to it. I suppose when I say heavy, even classic, that goes hand in hand with Def Leppard. You don't really get heavy anymore really with Def Leppard, do you? But I see why it's a single as well. Deliciously hooky guitar throughout. A stomp like an 80s Def Leppard hit, like I said, with those gang vocals. Probably one of the catchiest tracks on the album. Northern Lion is the next track. The band ramped up the energy with a fast rocker, a bit of a riff fest I would say here. The vocalist hits that cool tone in the high end range. I love the way the vocalist sounds here. He sort of, when he hits that high end range, he's got that grit and husk to his voice. A brilliant heavy track. Dead Weight is the next track. This was the last single that was released. The band have that cool bluesy groove again, like they do in some of their songs sometimes. I love this track. It's like a mix of that blues and catchy melodic rock all in one. The chorus is the perfect melodic hard rock chorus, I said, mixed with that bluesy sort of verses. Another huge song. Stone Cold Bones, maybe my favourite track on the album. The heaviness is forsaken as the band hit more of an AOR stride on this one. This is a real highlight of the album for me. I love the way the tinkering keys like follow the infectious vocal melody in the chorus. A top track. The closest to a ballad, I would say, on the album, but not actually a ballad. So quite heavy this album, as you can tell. And then the last track is Avalanche, which is the title track, obviously. It's a cool heavy rocker to finish off. Again, the energy is ramped up to 10 as the guys flex their muscles to compete with, like I said, all those top European bands in this melodic hard rock genre. A very cool last track. So guys, this is out this Friday, November the 10th. A massive leap forward, I would say, and that's not putting Pyramide down either. I actually really like that album, and they've just gone one step further with this. This is Temple Balls, this is Avalanche. Totally recommended by me, guys. Let me know if you're going to get it in the comments below, and I'll see you soon.